Hey guys, this is Julien from Benighted. You're watching Metal Nexus.
Hello guys, what's up? I'm here with Julien from Benighted, and so Julien, how are you doing today?
I'm pretty fine. We just started this Asian Indian tour 2 days ago, and so far it's we had very great time with guys, and this is our third concert tonight in Guwahati, and we are really impatient to be on stage because this open air festival seems very funny, and we're really looking forward to play there tonight.
Right, so this is your very first Indian tour.
Yeah.
What are you expecting from it?
But actually, I had only positive things about Asia, India, about the crowd especially, which is very crazy in the mosh pit. And I noticed that for the two first gigs, because the mosh pit was so crazy. We were just very happy to share all of this energy with the guys in the crowd. And that's actually what we like to do with Benighted, is to share everything we've got inside with the crowd who comes to support us. So far everything is perfect, so we are enjoying beautiful landscapes, very nice people and crazy shows, so we can't complain, it's perfect.
Awesome. Is it too hot here?
It's a bit, but it's okay. It's okay. We stink a bit, that's normal, it's on tour. It's okay, it's very hot. We are not used to that, but so far I think we haven't seen the worst.
Yeah, right. So you guys played Delhi last night. So how was it?
It was fucking cool. It was in a small club in the middle of the city, and I think there was a restaurant right next to it, which I guess people who doesn't like this kind of music must be very happy to eat there. But no, the show was very cool, very cool. The stage was small, so people were moshing and falling on our feet all the time. It was so funny, very grindcore stuff, grindcore atmosphere in the mosh pit, which I really like. So no, we had a blast yesterday. It was fucking great.
That sounds so good. So you've been very busy this year. So you've been playing like fests all over Europe, Motor Culture Festival, Summer Breeze, Kaltenbach, and even in Russia. And also not to forget, you've released your album Necro Breed. Yeah. So what do you feel about things going off for you this year?
But so far we have been very busy with this new album. The returns we have from Necro Breed are just fantastic. So we actually spend most of our time to refuse to play to some places because with our current jobs we cannot afford to play that much. So we do all that we want, but all our holidays are for Benighted now, and we toured a lot, and I think it will be the same next year. So we have the chance to make amazing festivals and to make this kind of great tours like in Asia for the first time. Yeah. And next time finally we go to the US. So we are very happy to be able to promote the Necro Breed album all around the world for the first time.
So that would be your first US tour, I guess?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay. So talking about the French scene, France previously wasn't much known for metal, so barring a few bands like Sortilege in the 80s and stuff. Yeah. But recently bands like Gojira, they have been catapulting the French scene to very international audiences. And also underground bands like you and Swart Crown and Gorod, they have been bringing some mass attention to the underground scene. So would you agree that this is some sort of a revolution in the French metal history, as metal is booming more than ever before? What reasons would you cite for it?
But I would say that's funny because I talked about it with the guys from Gutslit yesterday, and I said for many years in France we had this default that we were maybe too shy or too, I don't know, not offensive enough to propose our own personal music. And most of the bands were like, there's this big US bands, big US band who works very well, so we should do this music because it's fucking cool, but you just reproduce something that still exists. So I think maybe 10 years now, the metal scene in France starts to get their own personal stuff and bring the music they create and not that they copy, if you follow what I mean. Yeah. So that's maybe why now we are more credible on the international scene as a country. Okay. And of course with bands like Gojira, they brought us a lot of credibility because everyone knows Gojira now and they're fucking huge,
Yeah.
and they deserve it because they work very hard for getting that far, and they're still such humble and nice guys. They can be very proud of what they did. Yeah.
Last year, your ex-drummer Kevin Foley quit the band, but then also you compromised the loss by recruiting the drum god Romain Goulon. So, how did he join the band? Tell us about it.
But actually, Romain is not a part of. He's not in the band anymore. Kevin wanted to live with music, which is actually very difficult when you play extreme metal, and he always told us that he wanted to find a band he could live with, and we were totally supporting him in this way. That's why he tried with Decapitated, with Abaf, and now he found a new punk rock band in France, which is very famous, called Lofofora, which he can make a living with. So we are very happy for him about it. But Kevin is one of my best friends, so we know each other now for more than 10 years. So after him, Romain came into the band, and we recorded Necroboid with Romain. And Romain, I think, is maybe my top 3 best extreme drummer in the world, because he's so tight, so fucking intense, and he can blast at some speed, which is just amazing. And we had this problem at the last European tour because he got some problem with his ankle.
Okay.
Neurological stuff. When you practice too much, sometimes your brain prevents you to make some moves. And it appeared that he got this thing during touring, and he tried to practice a lot to make it better, but it makes things worse actually. And as we had a very busy schedule, we could not afford to keep him as a drummer, because we knew it was something that would happen again and again and again if we continued touring that much. So we had to take this hard decision, and it was very heartbreaking to take this decision, because Romain is a very nice guy and such a talented man, but we had no choice for the band. We had to do that.
So is he permanently quit the band, or are you with a touring drummer right now?
No, actually, he permanently quitted the band.
Okay.
Yeah. So he's searching for a new project now, maybe with less touring. And we have Anthony Rebos, who played for Gorod and Kronos as well, and Kevin Paradis also from Svartkrone. He played in Melekesh. He made some session for Shining 2 weeks ago, and we don't know actually who will be our new official drummer. We take our time, because we are a bit tired about lineup changes.
Yes.
And we want to find the good drummer who will stay Benighted at least for a year. It will be cool because it's very intense.
I guess in the past year you went through 2 to 3 lineup changes, right?
Yeah. A lot of changes. I stopped counting actually. I'm the only former member left.
Yeah, right.
So
The Necrobreed CD you have commemorated the album to Mika Bloy.
Yeah.
So did he stand of any significant importance to you? Were you guys really close buddies?
But actually, Mika Bloy was one of my best friends, and when he passed away 2 years ago, we found, as he was an amazing guy. Really, he was one of the guys who enjoyed life like few people can, and he always lived his life at 100, 200%, and was totally dedicated to music and people he loved. So that's why we tried all the time to make some homage as soon as we can in our stuff, because he always supported Benighted.
Yeah.
Most of the times he came with us to sell the merch or just party with us, and every time we have the chance to think of him and to make something for his memory, we just do.
All right. So I've watched some of your interviews previously, and you've mentioned how Oliver was really, still is a good friend of yours. It's much like a brother to you.
He's my
Yeah.
best friend.
So earlier this year he quitted, right?
Yeah.
So when he quit the band, I'm sure it was hard on you. So tell us what was going through your mind back then.
Actually, I always thought that at some point, if Olivier left the band, I would just stop Benighted. But the thing is that when he did that, it was right after the Necrobreed record. He just told us, as a friend, he told us, guys, I'm sorry, but I'm really tired of touring. I can't do this anymore. It's too tiring with my job, my wife. I can't do this anymore. And I totally understood that. But for me, it was like, wow, I have to deal with this now, because I started this with him. We were only 2 at the beginning when we started music. And it was like a morning to make, actually.
Okay.
So I had a morning to make to be with Oliver as a musician. Of course, he will be my best friend for my whole life. But yeah, it's it was something pretty hard to handle. I have a chance to have very nice guys in Benighted, which continue, we cheer us up all the time when someone is a bit down, and it works pretty well. That's how we cast in Benighted. We want to be with very friendly guys we know we will have fun with, and we know that we will be there one for the other, and that always worked this way. So far I'm good, and we continue to enjoy Benighted as much as we can.
So I know like quits are hard, and like you have to build the band from the beginning stuff. So what makes you still going on? Like you're still going on, still strong. So how is it?
I think Benighted is a huge part of me actually. So I think stopping Benighted for me would be like to renounce to a huge part of me, which I can do right now. Maybe sometimes I will wake up and say, okay, now it's time. I'm tired of it. I don't know, but so far it's totally unthinkable for me to stop Benighted. I need that for my life. It's something that makes me feel so many things, so many feelings at the same time when I'm on tour, when I'm recording, when I'm meeting new people and discovering new cultures, traveling the world. That's something that I could not afford if I wasn't in this band. And that's why we always try to be very serious and very authentical about what we give in our music to our fans. Because we are very thankful for the support they give them, and we always try to give to them the best we can from us. And as long as I will be in the band, it will be this way, because I need this actually.
We need that too, right? Benighted, I think, is certainly one of the very first wave of the extreme metal bands to have come out from France, with the likes of Blood of Snord, Go Rod. Have you faced any kind of hate or backlashes or bans, which most metal bands go through?
No, so far never.
Okay.
Never. No, I don't remember we had any kind of experiences like that. No, Sturm is very well. People are very welcoming and not paying any bad attention because we are French or something. No.
That is really cool. Talking about your new album, obviously, Necrobreed has been out for a couple of months now. Would you care to just elaborate it for us a bit?
Actually, Necrobreed is the very first album which was that we wrote not only by rehearsal but by internet, because we all live very far one from the other now.
Okay.
So we had to work a lot by working at home, sending to the others, and what do you think, blah blah blah. And working this way was the very first time, because we always have been a rehearsal band. And Manu, our new guitarist, is such a machine in writing killer riffs and finding some good ideas to put in the songs. And this album was very, very easy to write. Actually, we felt very liberated and wild in this album. So we decided to do something a bit more dark than usual. Always with psychiatric concept. Something very, very creepy. Coming from my work, I work in psychiatry in my current life. And this album is exactly like a horror movie, but you listen with your ear instead of watching with your eyes.
So this album has a pretty sick concept of like a guy stitching up dead animal organs to his abdomen, and then he eventually tears it up again thinking it's alive. Exactly. So how did you come up with this? It's such a sick story. How did you come up with this?
But actually, every story comes from my professional experience and from my patients. And I have a patient who doesn't know if he's a man or a woman, and thinks sometimes he comes, hey Julia, I'm pregnant. I'm sorry, you can't. You're a man. Are you sure? Because I really feel like I peed blood. Maybe I've got my periods or something. No, you've got maybe a urinary infection, but that's all. We have to check that. And the idea came to me that, hey, why not think about a schizophrenic guy whose delirium would be about an extra abdominal pregnancy to build his own family. So we are, with new times come new genders and new way to get babies. And I say, why a schizophrenic guy couldn't have delirium about this? And it came to my mind like this.
So how have the fans been in receiving the new album, the new songs?
Well, lots of fans says it's so far our best album, because they think the songs are pretty easy to get into, and it's very effective, and the insane parts, the new insane parts that we brought into this album are very effective on CD, but also on stage, because it creates such a creepy atmosphere sometimes that I really enjoy it. And apparently the fans are very into it as well. So we are very, very satisfied about it.
Talking about your past albums and its production, so since Insane Cephalic production, you've been working with Coleman Schlenner. And since every album you've been going there, so what makes you keep going back to him again and again?
Actually, Cole is a very close friend. With the years, we became friends pretty quickly, and I can't imagine recording somewhere else but at Cole's place, because he's like the sixth member of Benighted. He works with us always to make the sound, a bit personal for each album, because we don't want to have always the same sound. We want each album to have its personal sound. That's why, for example, the last album, I think, the sound is way more massive and effective than Carnivore Sublime, but it's more dirty and fits better to the new tracks. And it's more aggressive, less effective, more aggressive. And Cole always works in this way, trying to find something that fits to the music we bring him. And he has always a lot of ideas and helps us sometimes when we say, yeah, this part is a bit boring, what do you think? And he always gives us good advice, and it's like the sixth member of Benighted. Really.
Very well. So we're here at the end of the interview. We'd like to thank you so very much for talking to us. We wish you all the very best for your future. And what are the last things you'd like to say to your fans and your readers before we do this?
Actually, thank you very much for all the support you gave us, and thank you for showing up to the show like you do. And but it's just the start of the tour. We have 2 weeks left, so see you on tour and have a maximum of fun in the mosh pit on stage. And actually, you can come on stage with us. We love it, so don't hesitate. We wait you on stage, guys. Thank you very much. Stay sick.
All right, guys, that was Julien from Benighted. And make sure to subscribe Metal Nexus. And don't forget to get the Necro Breed, please. It will kill you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, bro.
Thank you, bro.
Thanks, man.
Metal Nexus.